My name is Nanfe Fadib, aka the Entertainer's Lawyer, and you're welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Entertainment with the Entertainer's Lawyer. I hope you did enjoy the last episode if you watched it, and if you didn't, please check in the channel. You'll see my last video. I spoke about whether or not it is copyright notification with the Nigerian Copyright Commission that confers copyright on a copyrightable work, or it is an automatical right that exists from the moment that an idea is being transposed into a definite fixed medium of expression. So without further ado, let's go into today's topic. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do. It's free of charge, and if you have, thank you so much. You are the real MVP. Today we'll be talking about split sheets. It is a very sensitive and important topic. I am so sure that a lot of people do not know about the concept of split sheets, and some people do, but very skeletally. So today I just want to talk about it and give you an overall understanding of what split sheets are and why it is important to sign split sheets at the moment of music creation. What is a split sheet? A split sheet is a legal document which music creators use to determine who owns what credit in a musical work. So let's take, for instance, Dr. Seth is a producer, Basket Mouth is an artist. Both of them go into the studio to make music. Now, at the point where the music creation is completed before it goes on to publishing, it is only proper that Dr. Seth, the producer, and Basket Mouth, who is the artist, will come together, sit down, and determine who owns what credit to that song. That is where the split sheet agreement comes in. A split sheet agreement determines who owns what. Standard practice is writer's share, which could also be called the artist share, and then composer share, which could also be called the producer share, is 50-50. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to use producer and artist share. So producer share 50%, artist share 50%. Now, it is not all the time that you see it go so straightforward. Sometimes it gets a bit complicated. Now, let's take, for instance, let's paint a scenario. Maybe in the course of the music production, Dr. Seth, who happens to be the producer, chips in one or two things that has to do with the songwriting process. Let's say while Basket Mouth was trying to voice the chorus, which is the hook, so to speak, Dr. Seth, who is the producer, brings in some ideas and, helps him write that part of the song, or maybe a verse, just basically contributes to the songwriting process. If Dr. Seth at any point contributed to the songwriting process, it means that Dr. Seth will be entitled to, apart from his 50% producer share, he'll be entitled to a percentage of the writer share as well. Which means that at the end of the day, he may be going home with 75% and Basket Mouth will be going home with 25%. Yeah, bingo. Now it could get even more complicated where there are 3 or more writers on the song. We've seen instances where artists come together to collaborate on a song. They all contribute into the songwriting process. Maybe the song has 2 verses and a hook. Now one artist takes the hook and the other 2 artists both take one verse. The 3 artists who are involved in the songwriting process will be sharing the 50% of the writer's share. They could be sharing it 25, 15, 10, or they could be sharing it 20, 10, 10. It depends on the contribution that each person made to the song, which boils down to the fact that split sheet agreements are not written on stone. There's no law that says that where 2 people come together to write a song, they must share equally. However, it is important to state that there's an inference by law backed up by the Copyright Act that where there are joint owners to a song, they share the credits to the song equally. Now, the exception is where a split sheet agreement is being written, which is what we're talking about. Now, where there's a split sheet agreement, they could decide that they'll share it 20-20-10, or 25-15-10, or 30-10-10, or even 40-5-5, it depends on how much contribution each artist made. They would come to an agreement. That's why it's important to do it at the point where the song is being completed. Once the song don't blow, like we say, once the song is all out there, has been published, has made a hit, it becomes very difficult for these 3 artists, or the number of artists that are involved, to be able to come to an agreement as to who owns what, because money is now involved. Now everybody wants to get greedy more times than often, so it is very important to do it at the point where the song has been created. Right there in the studio, I advise artists, whenever you're going to the studio to make collaborations, go with copies of split sheets. You need to always sign the split sheets to prevent and protect yourself from legal wars. They could be crazy, they're dramatic. You do not need them in your career. I am advising you as an entertainment attorney, split sheets, the importance can never be overemphasized, trust me. So now let's go on to why split sheets are important. Split sheets are very important because it saves you the stress of having to determine who owns what after the song is made a hit and all the legal drama. It is also important because it helps your PRO to be able to determine who owns what credit to the song and who owns what percentages when it comes to payment of such funds to who it is due. So if you don't have that split sheet, how does your PRO determine who owns what percentage as it regards the revenue that that song has generated? So apart from doing it to protect yourself, it is also important because your CMO would definitely need it, or your PRO, whatever name is being called, would definitely need it. In Nigeria, we have the MCSM and we also have the cousin. These are all bodies, these are all PROs that help artists, musical artists to, track their music, who is using what music and make them pay for using the music, so that the artists who made that music can benefit from the creation of their work. Now, if you remember, there's been this saga between Two-Face and Blackface, where Blackface claimed to be a co-writer of the African Queen song, which was performed by Two-Face, and there's been this back and forth dragging about who owns what credit, and Blackface said that he wasn't giving credit for the song while he wrote the song. Now, if at the point of creating that music, African Queen, there was a split sheet agreement, trust me, none of this drama would have been, because at that point Blackface, Two-Face and the producer would have drafted a split sheet as to who owns what credit in that song, and all of this drama wouldn't have been at all. There goes one of the very important reasons why you should draft a split sheet agreement for every song that you collaborate on. Going further, I would like to share with you the basic things that must be contained in a split sheet agreement. Now, different lawyers draft their agreements in different ways, but I just want to state the basic things that must be contained in a split sheet agreement. Now, the song title is very important. A split sheet must contain the title of the song. Number 2, the date the song was recorded. You must include the dates that the song was recorded, and if it was recorded on separate dates, then separate the dates with a column. Number 3, the studio name which the song was produced. It is not mandatory, but it's important to include it. So if you can, please include the name of the studio where the song was produced. Let's go on to the details of the composers. That's both the producer and the songwriters, or the songwriters, so to speak. So their full legal names, their artistic names, their date of birth, their email addresses, their phone numbers, their contact addresses, their signatures, and then their shares, the shares that are due to them. And then beside the percentage of the share that is due to them, it should be written whether it is for the lyrics, which is the songwriting, or it's for the composition. Bingo. I hope you get that. Now, some other very important details are whether or not that song that the split sheet is being created for is a product of a sampled music, because proper permission has to be gotten from the original owner of the song from which the song is being sampled. And if fees are to be paid, then appropriate fees are to be paid. So please state it in your split sheet if the song which the split sheet is being created for is a sample of another original song. Yeah, and then it is also important for you to state the PRO or the CMO of the composers. Now, in Nigeria, we have the MCSN and the cousin. So state it if you're a member of cousin or you subscribe to the MCSN. I hope you know what CMOs are. CMO means collecting management organization, and PRO means performance rights organization. They help artists and music creators to track who is using their song, where their songs are being used, and help them get revenues for the usage of those songs. That is basically the jobs of CMOs. And if there's a third-party publisher in the picture, it's also important for you to state it and state the name of the publisher. So these are the basic things that must be contained in a standard split sheet agreement. There may be more, but they should not be less. Now, one sad thing I often hear creatives say is, I do not like all of this paperwork bullshit. It gets in the way of my creativity. Oh, really? Does it? It means you're in this business for charity. Because if you're in music business to make money, you cannot do away with the legal aspects. You cannot do away with paperwork. It is very important. It all incorporates to bring out the commercialization of your music. I remember some time ago there was this Twitter war about artists saying, oh, producers do not even let you vibe once you get into the studio. They're talking about split sheet, they're talking about payments. Oh yeah, they have to, because they're starting to get woke. So everybody now knows that you shouldn't be exploiting your creativity for nothing. And that is all that we need to do to take our creativity to the next level. Understand the value of your creativity and do not settle for less. So please and please, artists and producers, learn to make good use of split sheets when you create music. It will help you a whole lot, trust me. If you want a copy of my own split sheet, you can send me a DM on Instagram at The Entertainer's Lawyer. The handle is somewhere down below on the left, and I'll share my own split sheet with you for a very little tiny fee. Yeah. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video and you learned a couple of things from it. Please click the like button if you found this video helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and turn on the post notifications so that you're the first to get a notification every time I drop a new video. As always, I remain the Entertainer's Lawyer, and I'm here for you any time of the day.